at 10 cents on the dollar and hopes with our energy and effort and time we can convert it into 40 or 50 or 60 cents on the dollar. These cast of characters you're talking about at Vail, I mean, these guys are looking at buying companies and growing market share and stuff. They're not going to look at taking a distressed property. But I do think there's a few opportunities out there, even a few in Canada that come to mind, like Banff or Sunshine or Lake Louise, kind of all independently owned. At some point in time, the younger generations, after families have owned them for 40 or 50 years, the younger generation, particularly if they're technologically smart, have a business degree or economics degree and they're lazy, they're going to look and see on their balance sheets that they're showing a net worth of $90 million as a family, and they don't have two goddamn nickels to rub together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They are the ones that usually say, like, that's how Mammoth sold. McCoy family owned that for 55 years. John McCoy, the father, didn't want to sell it. We bought it. The reason why he wanted to sell it, he had 4 kids, and they weren't kids anymore. They were in their 40s, that hated to live on $60,000 a year what their dad was paying them. I mean, the dad bought them houses and cars, but disposable income, they were making 50 or 60 grand, and they had an asset worth $300 million. And so they sold it to basically what we call cash out. So I do think there's going to be some of those opportunities out there, and I'm sure these guys are looking all the time. But it's almost like geopolitics. They're not going to they'll look at how much they have invested in different regions of the country and in Canada, and they're not going to put a lot more money in a region that they're nervous about in terms of snowfall or Mother Nature.
Got it.
Like Tahoe is a good example. Tahoe is probably having one of its worst years in 30. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Of course, you've already got the Vales and the Aspens and the Worth in that neck of the woods. In Squaw Valley and places like that, North Star, Heavenly. But it will be interesting to see what materializes. I'll also tell you, there'll only be 2 buyers. I don't think much of the CNL talk to the people. And in fact, I didn't even think about this as I'm talking out loud with you. If I were Vail or Altera, I'd be talking to these old CNL, Okias, whatever their name called, the public family that bought a lot of that CNL stuff. I'd be talking to them right now to see if you can do some cherry picking and pick out 1 or 2 of those ski operations that might fit your business model going forward. So long answer, I think there's some opportunities. Don't be surprised if they don't buy any this year, but I also wouldn't be surprised if there are 1 or 2 or 3 opportunities that they're probably giving some serious consideration for. Again, it's all part of stealing market share and controlling the brand. I don't know if you know the hotel business. We own 60 hotels right now. We design, build, own, and operate our own hotels. We put flags on them, brands, because that's you're buying into the reservation system. But we own a lot of hotels with a Marriott brand or a Hilton brand or a Four Seasons Resort brand, depending where we are. And I just had to buy this year two hotel operations that were not those brands. There were other brands, but they were kind of in our market. And what they were doing quite candidly, they were discounting their rooms like ridiculous. I mean, they were owned by hedge funds, and all they were concerned about was occupancy. They didn't look at RevPAR or ADR. And they were killing me because when we went to our business model and looked at all our numbers and our competitors, and everyone will say was in the $165 range, you and your little pisshole hotel was in the $90 range. Now, you get what you pay for. It's a shitty hotel. It was a shitty experience, but they don't care about that. You took a customer out of that market and put him in your hotel and took them away from me. So I ended up negotiating with these 2 hedge funds, and we bought their 3 hotels. 2 of them I'm just going to tear down and see if someone was interested in the land for some higher and better use, retail, office, apartments, whatever it may be. The other one will think about reconverting and taking it up a notch and putting it into our brand. But I really did that to control the market share and the pricing.
And just sorry to change track, but just in the interest of time, I just wanted to ask around like resort profitability and margins, because when I look at Vail margins, they've gone up a lot over the last few years, and then clearly there's a lot of